Welcome, Saber enthusiasts. I am Nick Nitro and I am the Lord of the Crucible. Today we're doing our in-depth review of the Timelacer from Timeblade Guild, which is the first saber that I'm reviewing that is billed as actually compliant for international lightsaber dueling competition. This is going to be really interesting because it turned into a bit of a rabbit hole. I'm not going to do a huge deep dive on it, but we are going to cover quite a bit this time, so this might be a longer video than usual. But even what little I went into turned out to be very interesting. So, first thing I want to note is that this thing is a lot lighter than most of the sabers I have. And the balance point, oh, it is sweet. It is right where I want it to be. But there are things that I'm concerned about as far as Crucible testing. And let's see if we can't cover some of that right quick. So, I normally don't have a script for these things. And that's probably a mistake. It really is. So we're gonna just kind of wing through this here. Now, Timeblade Guild, they actually have this assembled to standards for 2 lightsaber dueling organizations. One of these organizations is the ASLFFE, which is the LED Saber Academy through the French Fencing Federation. This is a large organization, and I didn't even know they had a lightsaber category. But apparently they do, and it's kind of insistent on some of their standards for the saber construction itself. But there's also the SSL, the Sports Saber League, and I know a lot less about them. But they're both listed on the website for Timeblade Guild, and this saber meets the qualifications for both organizations. So, let's start off with FFE. They even dictate how the saber is measured. So for them, the overall measurement is from the base of the pommel to the tip of the saber. And let's see what we have here. This is about 41.5 inches long. Yeah, about 110 centimeters for the total length. So I'm going to do some conversions. I'll throw that up on the screen here. But this should be around that length according to their website. Now the one thing this did include, let's have a look here. And it's something I'm a little excited about because most companies don't include this. Where is it at? Oh yes. And I'll get a good picture of it, but they actually have a specification sheet. So this is really nice. I mean, even included in the specifications is that this is specifically 6063 aircraft grade aluminum. That's a level of detail that you don't normally get with lightsabers. So I'm really happy about that. And I mean, they go into a lot of detail here. The blades must be made of polycarbonate, and they must be a mid-grade blade. They can only have a wall thickness of 2 millimeters thick. We've seen what happens with mid-grade blades in the Crucible. It ain't pretty. So we'll see what happens with this one, but I kind of suspect the blade itself is not going to survive very well. There's probably a safety reason for this in lightsaber dueling. You probably want to make certain that you're going to reduce the amount of injuries as much as possible. And even the diameter of the blade is covered, the diameter of the emitter. Total blade length is going to be 84 centimeters. So that's going to be a 32-inch blade, which is what this came with. So the Sports Saber League is a little bit different. They actually allow up to a 36-inch blade. Again, it needs to be a mid-grade blade. They actually have a minimum depth of 5 centimeters for the blade socket, which is a minimum of 2 inches. They even have a maximum diameter of the emitter at 2 inches. So we're gonna check out some of this stuff. Blade thickness, wall thickness, the width of the Suba, if you have one, can be up to 8 centimeters. And they absolutely prohibit bullet points on the tip of the blade. Again, this is probably for safety reasons if you happen to do a thrust. So, they also prohibit any sharp edges or dangerous protrusions, which means most of the sabers I like with crowned emitters and a lot of greeblies are probably not allowed. But I mean, it's just a bit of a deep dive in here as to how much thought went into this saber. So we're going to go ahead and get our measurements out of the way here, and we'll see what we come up with. This is going to be really interesting. Well then, this is very interesting. This actually is the second lightest lightsaber that I have. Only a 3-ounce difference between the two. So at 14.5 ounces, this is really light. But as you can see here, the balance point is in a very interesting spot. It's actually behind the emitter and very close where you naturally want to grip the saber. So right here, this is just really comfortable for me to use. And with its length, you can still have a two-handed grip should you want it. I like this a lot. Now this is a 3-inch blade socket depth. So basically means you've got a 29-inch blade here that of workable space, of usable space. Still, I like shorter blades. This is like right in my range. This is right where I want to be. So for the requirements that we covered earlier for the ASL FFE and the SSL organizations, this is going to meet all of those international standards. Now FFE is really impressive. It's the French Fencing Federation. They cover a lot. Everything from steel swords running from épées through long swords and great swords and everything in between. And apparently a lightsaber division, which I did not know. SSL, the Saber Sports League, I have less information on them. But there are a lot of other organizations out there. 2 I know of in the US are the LSSA, the Lightspeed Saber Academy, and Saber Legion. And the requirements are different for each organization. So if you're looking at getting into lightsaber dueling, see what's in your area first. Shop around and look at the rule sets of every organization and see what you can work with. Some will allow heavy grade blades, others don't allow heavy grade blades. Some will allow bullet points, others won't. And their fighting styles differ as well. So do your research, take your time. That said, I really love the balance point on this. My natural grip point is right here, and the balance point is here behind the emitter, but forward of the hand. And it is just perfect for me. Now that'll change if you put on a different blade here, or if you change anything back here, but right now, this is well suited for my spinning style. I really like it. I also think that it's going to take some damage in the Crucible, just because of the requirements for FFE and SSL. This has a lighter weight board, it has a lighter weight blade, but we're gonna see what happens. You never know, we might get surprised. This might be the first mid-grade blade to not take a crease. Maybe. But anyway, we will see what happens with this. I am looking forward to this. I am Nick Nitro. This is Rocky. And we will see you in the Crucible.